Hola. Oh, sorry. This class should be in English. Hi, and welcome to another English class. Today, this is level B2 or upper intermediate, so everything is in English. Um, Today, the subject is very important subject: phrasal verbs. Phrasal verbs are verbs which have two parts. But before we begin, let's just check in the chat. I have Irma. Hi, Irma. So if you're a member like Irma, you can join the conference. The link for the conference is in the community tab, and that the community tab link is in the chat. Who else? We got Luis, we got Chris, we got Teclados, Margarita, the quantum world. Teclados, how can you give me information about the class online? Well, this is an online class, Teclados. If you want to join the conference, you need to join my channel. So let's begin the class then. Phrasal verbs. So phrasal verbs. What is a phrasal verb? In Spanish, let me just move that because I can see my screen is just covering it a bit. It's too small now. Down here, I can zoom in. Not too much. Now that's very... So what is a phrasal verb? A phrasal verbs are verbs which consist of a verb plus one or two particles. And the particle is either a preposition or an adverb. Now that sounds very complicated, this phrase here, but it's not so complicated. Phrasal verbs are just verbs which have two parts or sometimes three parts. For example, sit, down, come, back, or take off. These are all examples of phrasal verbs. They have two parts. These phrasal verbs have a verb, sit. I'm sitting now. I'm sitting in the chair. And down, sit down. So if I'm standing up, this is stand up. That's another phrasal verb. Sit down. I'm going to sit down. I'm sitting down. So this is a phrasal verb. And this phrasal verb has a literal meaning. A literal meaning. The literal meaning is sit down. So it's very easy with this phrasal verb to actually understand the meaning. Another example of a phrasal verb which has a literal meaning is come back. Come back. Come back. It's like return. Return. Another meaning of a phrasal verb, literal meaning of a phrasal verb, is take off. Take off. Take off your top, this jacket thing. Take off. I'm taking off. I'm not going to take it off because it's cold, but this is the meaning. So these are three examples of phrasal verbs. Here I have three sentences with these phrasal verbs. Sit down in the chair. Come back home. Take off your hat. So these phrasal verbs, hold on, the dog is annoying me. He wants to go out. He always, when he hears me on YouTube, he wants to go out. I think I'll just leave that open so he can go in and out. So these three phrasal verbs are literal phrasal verbs. We can deduce the meaning of them by the two words. Sit down, come back, or take off. Sit down in the chair, come back home, take off your hat. However, you often need to treat many phrasal verbs as new vocabulary. And this is where it gets more difficult, because here we have some more phrasal verbs. Bring up, which means mention. Carry on, which means continue. Pass away, which means die. Come down with means to get an illness. An illness is a disease and a sickness. And look after, that means care for. So these phrasal verbs are more difficult because basically, hold on one second. Basically, it's not possible to understand the meaning of these phrasal verbs just by looking at the two words. If you one day learn the word bring means to carry something, to take something to some place, or take something to me. In Spanish is traer. Bring up means up. So the meaning of this phrasal verb bring up is mention. It doesn't have any relationship to the two words if we treat those two words individually. In the previous group here, the phrasal verbs, the meaning was literal, but here the meaning is not literal. So that means that you need to learn these phrasal verbs like new vocabulary. You have to treat them as new words. You can go to an English class one day, or you can be studying English one day and you can learn the word bring, and the next day you can learn the word up. But when you see bring up, it doesn't make sense. You need to learn bring up as a new word. And the same with the other ones. Carry on. Carry is to pick something up and move it somewhere else. Carry on doesn't have any relationship to continue, but carry on means continue. Pass away, die, come down with. These phrasal verbs are more difficult. You have to treat them like new vocabulary. The important thing is that phrasal verbs are very, very common in spoken English. Normally we have another word. For example, here we have bring up is virtually synonymous with mention, but in day-to-day English, native speakers are much more likely to say bring up than mention. They're more likely to say, hey, carry on with your work than continue with your work. And they're more likely to say, look after the children than care for the children. Actually, care for is another phrasal verb. There should be another word, but I can't think of it now. Maybe just care. So basically, these are very important. You need to learn these, and you need to treat them like new English, new words, new vocabulary. You need to learn these words like new vocabulary. Let's have a look at some examples I've got here. He's going to bring up the subject at the next meeting. He's going to mention the subject at the next meeting. Carry on with your work. Carry on with your work. Continue with your work. My brother passed away. He came down with flu. This is my brother died, but maybe it's a euphemism. A euphemism is a nice way of saying, talking about something bad. Instead of saying my brother died, it sounds much better to say my brother passed away. He came down with flu. He contracted flu, the disease, influenza. I can't go out because I have to look after my children. Look after, care for my children. So, phrasal verbs. To summarize this page, phrasal verbs are verbs that have two or three parts. Sometimes they have a literal meaning, but on many occasions they have a new meaning, a new vocabulary meaning, and you have to learn them like new words. Let's go to the next page, because actually I have here, there are 1, 2, 3, I have 4 types of phrasal verbs here. 4 types of phrasal verbs. But let me just, before I continue, hi Emma, can you hear me? I don't think your sound is enabled. No? Okay. Let's just look at the chat a minute. If anyone's got any questions, they can put it in the chat. Hi Emma, can you hear me? Hi. Who have we got in the chat? You got any questions, Emma? Okay, let's look at 4 types of phrasal verbs. 4 types of phrasal verbs. The first type is very easy because this type of phrasal verb is what we call intransitive. Intransitive, all intransitive means
No,
is
I can hear you.
you can't hear me. I can hear you, Irma. Can you hear me? No. Well, I think there must be something wrong with your speakers or your headphones. Can you hear me? No. So the first type of phrasal verb is intransitive. Intransitive just means that that type of verb doesn't have a direct object. So an example is he woke up. Woke up is an example of type 1 phrasal verb. There is no object. He woke up at 7 a.m. Here we have a preposition, but there is no direct object. Go away, go away. There's no object here. Go away. He fell over, fell over, fell over. He fell over when he was running. Here, we don't have an object. We don't say he fell over. No, he fell over. Actually, this could be both, but I don't want to complicate it at the moment. We could say, for example, he fell over the rock, but then it would be transitive, but it can be used as intransitive. So this type of phrasal verbs, we don't need to worry about the object because there is no object. But in type 2 and type 3, these two, and type 4, these types of phrasal verbs are transitive. That means they have an object. So in these types, we need to worry about where we put the object. So we have the first type that I've got here is type 2. Type 2 phrasal verbs are what we call, they are transitive. That means they have an object. For example, here is an example. Turn off the computer. The computer here is the object. Take off your hat. Here, your hat is the object. Throw away those old shoes. Here, those old shoes is the object. So this type of phrasal verb is what we call separable. That means we can separate them. So here I have 4 examples of the phrasal verb turn off, and one of these is incorrect. Turn off your phone, turn off it, turn your phone off, and turn it off. With these examples, 3 are correct and 1 is incorrect. I don't have anyone in the conference. Irma is in the conference, but there's some problem with her sound. So who in the chat can tell me which one of these 3 is incorrect? One of them is incorrect. One of them is incorrect. One of them is incorrect. Who can tell me? I can't read that very clearly because my tablet is very small, my glasses. Guillaume, I think it is. Guillaume Salah says turn off it is incorrect, and you are correct because that one is wrong. That one is wrong. When we have this type of phrasal verb, which is the separable phrasal verbs, when we have the subject, here is the subject. Here's the subject, your phone or your phone. When we use the noun or the noun phrase as the subject, we can put it after the phrasal verb. So we can say turn off your phone, or in most cases, not all cases, we can put it in between the 2 parts and we can say turn your phone off. Turn off your phone, turn your phone off. Both are correct. But when we use the object pronoun, which in this case is it must go between the 2 parts. We can't put the object pronoun here at the end. This one is wrong. When we use the object, it must go between the 2 parts. So here I have turn off your phone, correct. Turn your phone off, correct. Turn it off, correct. But turn off it, incorrect. If I wanted to make examples with these words, I would say, take off your hat, correct. Take your hat off, correct. Take it off, correct. But take off it, incorrect. Throw away those old shoes. Throw away. Well, I'm not going to do this example because I have a note on the next page about that one. So this is type 2, separable. Type 3 is transitive. Like type 2, it has an object, but these ones are inseparable. What that means is that the object always has to go after the phrasal verb. You can never separate it. So I have examples here. Look into, which means like investigate. Believe in, which means to think that something is real. Look after means, I think we saw before, means to care. So I'll look into the matter tomorrow. There are only two possibilities. You say, I'll look into the matter tomorrow, or I'll look into it tomorrow. But we cannot say, this is running out of space. Here we cannot say, I'll look it into, or I'll look the matter into. Those two, that one is wrong. Those two are wrong. We can never, ever, ever separate an inseparable phrasal verb. It doesn't matter if we have the object as a noun, as it is here, or we have the object as an it, as a pronoun. We never can separate it. So that is the difference between those two. How do we know the difference when we see a new phrasal verb? Well, unfortunately, there is no rule which allows you to know the difference. But most people understand that saying something like, look my children after, doesn't make sense. Normally, if you get to this level of English, you're going to see that look my children after doesn't make sense. It's wrong. We have to say look after my children or look after them. Okay, Irma, you still can't hear me, no? Let's make that black, I think. So, type 4. Type 4, again, it's transitive. So it has an object, but type 4 has two particles. Come up with. That means to think of something, to think of a new idea. He came up with a brilliant idea. The ones with three parts are always inseparable. The object always comes after. It doesn't matter if it's a pronoun or a noun. He came up with a brilliant idea. He came up with it. I've run out of coffee. I've run out of it. I've run out of it. Sorry, I've run out of it. Yeah, sorry. He fell out with his ex-wife. He fell out with her. So just to summarize the four types, the first type is very easy because intransitive, it doesn't have an object. So we don't need to worry about where the object goes. He woke up at 7 a.m. Go away. I don't want to see you anymore. He fell over when he was running. The second type is separable. It's transitive, which means it has an object and it's separable. When we have the noun, we can put the noun at the end or in between the two parts. But when we use the pronoun, it must go between. Turn off your phone, turn your phone off, turn it off. A couple of notes before we continue. We saw earlier some phrasal verbs. We saw earlier transitive, group one, which was transitive, and the others which were intransitive. Some phrasal verbs can be transitive or intransitive. For example, on the previous page, I told you I put wake up in the first group, um, which is transitive, intransitive, no object. He woke up at 7 a.m. But there's another way to use it, that verb. So where's that page gone? Sorry, here's the page. He woke up at 7 a.m. Here, intransitive, wake up, sorry, is intransitive. But don't wake the children up. Here, wake up is transitive and it's separable. Don't wake the children up, or don't wake them up, or don't wake up the children. Don't wake up the children. But we cannot say don't wake up them. So some verbs could be transitive or intransitive depending on how they're used. We've got another example here. The plane took off. The plane took off when the plane leaves the ground. This is intransitive, but take off your coat. This is transitive. Second note. If the object is a very long phrase, we usually put it after the particle. For example, throw the shoes away. Throw away those old shoes with holes in the soles. So here we've only got two words in the subject. It's a noun phrase with two words. But here, those old shoes with holes in the soles, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 words in this object. It's a noun phrase with 8 words. So we wouldn't normally put that there because it's too long. We would have to say, throw those old shoes with the holes in the soles away. It is possible, but normally if the subject is if the object is very long like that, it's better to put it at the end. You know, if it's more than 3 or 4 words, it's better to put it at the end. But when the object is a pronoun, it always comes between the verb and the particle. Throw them away. Throw the shoes away. Throw away those old shoes with holes in the soles. Throw them away. Good. Has anyone got any messages? Sorry, yeah, any questions, I should say. Any questions? What is so long? Hello, Richard. Have you got any questions? I don't have anyone in the chat. Irma doesn't have any sound. So I don't have anyone in the conference. Sorry, I have people in the chat. I've got some questions at the end, but here I've just got some examples, and I'm just going to read the examples of phrasal verbs. Back up. This means like support somebody. The rest of the team backed her up. And here I've got, but in the yellow, I've got, this one is separable. The rest of the team backed her up. I'll put the objects in if it's there. Let's put that in yellow too. The rest of the team backed her up when she told management about her plans. Means the rest of the team supported her. To bring up, don't bring up the budget. This one is separable too, so it could be, we could say don't bring the budget up or don't bring up the budget. It's the same. Carry out, the company is carrying out a plan. Carrying out a plan to increase salaries by 20% next year. Again, this is separable. So this here could go where it is there, or we could move it there. Carrying a plan out. It's carrying a plan out. I'm not sure if that's right, actually. It sounds like it could be inseparable. The company's carrying a plan out. I think that one, I've got separable there, but I'm thinking it could be inseparable. So I'm going to move that back. Doesn't sound quite right. Let's put there. Inseparable. Doesn't sound quite right. The company is carrying a plan out. Okay, yeah, actually it is okay. Yeah, I'm confusing myself. Well, let's leave it there anyway. Bump into, to mean meet somebody by chance. I went to the park and bumped into your brother. This one definitely is inseparable. You can't say bumped your brother into. Come up with, this is 3 parts, so it's inseparable. Remember our IT problem Well, Carlos has come up with a great solution. Drop off. Marcos is dropping me off at the airport. It's separable, and we have the pronoun between the two. Find out. Steve got promoted when they found out she has excellent business skills. Yeah, this should actually be he, sorry, not she. Good. I've got some more examples on the next page. So there are many phrasal verbs, and the ones I got here are the very basic ones. If you're learning English at this level, you at least need to know these ones. Do you get along with your English teacher? I think she's really cool. Get along with when somebody you like somebody. When you like somebody, get along with, and your English teacher. This is 3 parts, so we can't separate it. Get back to 3 parts. Let me check out some numbers, and I'll get back to you. Get back to you with an answer. Hold on, because this has gone off the page. Let's just see if I can move this. It's not, it's too long. Hold on 1 second. Let's change something here. It's still too long. It's too big. It doesn't fit on the page. And it won't fit on the page. It should fit on the page. Well, I think I'll just have to, let's see if I can zoom out a bit. Well, I'll just scroll it because for some reason right now I can't adjust the size. It should be able to adjust it. It can't. It won't get smaller. There's some format error. So you can't see the ends of these sentences. I'll have to scroll through them. Which one were we on? Get over. He has got over his breakup quite well. His breakup, inseparable. Give up. I gave up smoking. Separable. So no, that you couldn't say I gave up. I gave smoking up. I gave it up. Yeah, it's separable. Yeah. Hurry up or we'll be late. This one's intransitive, so it doesn't have an object. Hurry up. I'm looking after the children. Inseparable. Looking after the children while my sister is at work. This one I've got written in Spanish. Hacer las paces. He had an argument with his girlfriend, but they've made up. Can you pick me up? Pick me up at the train station. This one again, I got more Spanish here. Let's take that off. Yeah, now they all fit, I think. Set up. I've always wanted to set up my own freelance business. Can you turn the lights off? Can you turn the lights off? Turn out. As it turns out, John didn't get the job in advertising. I'll take that bit off because it doesn't fit. Turn out. And finally, Mike hasn't turned up in intransitive. I think I've got one more group of phrasal verbs here. Also, these ones fit on the page. That's good. Let's just go here. So get along. This actually is 3 parts. I didn't put the last one on there. Should be get along with. Do you get along with your English teacher? Yeah, Quantum says you can change the word size. Yeah, I could have done that. Yeah, but then it might have been difficult to see the people who are on cell phones because it's 18, and I normally find if it gets smaller, you can't see it on the cell phone. But thanks for the suggestion. Yeah, get back. Let me check out some numbers. Check out some numbers. Get over. He has got over his breakup. I thought we saw that one earlier, actually. Give up. I gave up smoking. Hurry up. I think I'm repeating these actually because, yeah, we saw these already. I've repeated the same one. Sorry. So I think we can go down here to some questions. I don't have anyone in the conference. I have Irma, but Irma, her sound is not working. So anybody in the chat? Here I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 phrasal verbs. 8 phrasal verbs. We need to put the correct phrasal verb in each sentence. Get along means, Quantum Wells, this means caerse bien in Spanish. Llevarse bien. I get along with my colleagues. Me llevo bien con mis colegas. It's difficult to, I'm trying to think of another word in English. It's like, they are pleasant people. They are pleasant people. I get along with them. So, who's got the answer to number 1? Who's got the answer to number 1? Well, somebody's got the answer to number 2, and that's correct. Who's that? Gillum, I think. So, yeah, this one, can you call back later? I don't know if I can put that in there. Oh, it's like a different thing. Yeah, hold on. Can you call back later? Yeah, this one is call back. Good. Number 1. Could you look it up the TV? No. Can you the TV? I can't hear it. Turn up. Damaso. Very good. Turn up the TV. Good. Number 3. What can we put here? Number 3. If you're in the chat, put the numbers because I don't know which one you're answering. Put 3 and then the answer. Shall we eat out? Number 3 says Skillum is hurry up. Very good. And so that one there, hurry up, will be late. Yeah, here I should have put a space, but Irma got the correct answer. Shall we eat out? Number 5, warm up. I like to, very good. Yeah, who said that? Gillum. I can't read it because the letters are so small on my, let's have a look on here. Maybe I can see it on here. I think it's Gilliam. So number 6, look it up. No, that's not number 6. Number 7 is look it up. Yeah. Number 7 is look it up. Number 6 is woke up. Very good. And number 8. Number 8. Find out. Well, number 8 is very easy because it's the only possible option. So could you turn up the TV? I can't hear it. I'm busy right now. Can you call back later? Hurry up, we'll be late. Shall we eat out? I like. This actually should have the word to here. I didn't put to. I like to warm up. That's too big. I like to warm up before I run. I woke up very late this morning. If you don't know what a word means, look it up in a dictionary. I need to find out what time the class starts. Okay, here what we need to do is write the same phrase using the pronoun. Some of these ones are separable phrasal verbs. Some of them are inseparable. So, number 1 would be take off your shoes. Two possibilities. Well, I shouldn't give you any clues. Who's got the answer? Write the same thing using the pronoun. So write the same thing using the pronoun. I think maybe I'll do the first one to show you what you need to do. Here's the example. Here's the example. Take off your shoes. Using the pronoun, it's take off is separable. So we have two choices. Take them off or, oh no, we only have one choice, sorry, because it's separable. Yeah, sorry. Take them off. Take them off. This is our only possibility because it's separable, because we can't say take off them. This is incorrect because this is separable, and when we use the pronoun, we can't say that. That's the wrong one. I want to do that. Yeah, that's wrong. Yeah. So could you look after the children? Say the same thing using the pronoun. Could you look after the children? This actually is a question. Same thing using the pronoun. Look after them. Yeah. Could you look after them? You can't say, yeah, this is inseparable. So could you look after them? Who said that? Yeah. Irma. Very good, Irma. What happened to your sound, Irma? Why isn't your sound working? Is it working now? I can hear an echo. I can hear my own voice. So, number 3, do you get on with your sister? Yeah, I'm getting a lot of echo, so I've had to turn off your sound. Number 3. Yeah, Emma, when I put your sound on, I get like an echo. I get feedback. So you've got something connected up wrong. Ah, you're on your cell phone. Okay. This is why. Normally you're on your computer. So number 3. Number 3. Number 3. Who's got the answer to number 3? Anybody? You're going to start with, do you? Has anyone got the answer to number 3? Who's got the answer to number 3? Let's hide that. Yeah, no Spanish. I'm not speaking Spanish. Who's speaking Spanish? Not me. Let's move that over there. Trying to make it a bit bigger, but it doesn't. Who's got the answer to number 3? Do you get on them? No, it's your sister, so. Has anybody got the answer to number 3? Well, I'm going to give you the answer because nobody is coming up with the answer. Do you get on with her? It's a 3-part get on with, so you can't separate it. Do you get on with her? Switch off your cell phone. Switch off your cell phone. Switch off, turn off is synonymous. Switch off your cell phone. Who's got the answer? Switch it off, says Irma. Very good, yeah. Switch it off because it's separable. I'm looking for my glasses. I'm looking for my glasses. Who's got the answer? 21 people in the chat. Nobody has the answer. I'm looking for them, says Irma. Very good. And Alinea Sanchez, yeah. Okay, William, el código para Zoom está en la tab de la comunidad. La tab de la comunidad. Tienes que ir ahí, William, y después vas a encontrar el enlace para unirse a la conferencia. Pero la verdad es que casi hemos terminado hoy. Siempre cuando hago las clases en vivo, la enlace para unirse a Zoom está en la tab de la comunidad en YouTube. Solo los que están nivel plata y oro pueden verlo. So, which one are we on? Sorry, Spanish, no Spanish. I'm looking for, I think Irma got the answer. Good, Irma. Yeah, I'm looking for them. Please pick up that towel. Pick it up. Very good, Irma. Pick it up. Pick it, or please pick it up. Please pick it up. Turn down the music. Turn down the music. Hi, Santiago. Yeah, Santiago, you can join the chat, the conference. You need to go to the other link. Well, we've nearly finished today, so maybe see you in the next class. Turn down the music. Okay, Santiago, yeah. Sorry, it's because it says William. That's why I thought your name was William. Turn down the music. Turn down the music. Who's got the answer? Turn it down. Sorry, yeah, I missed that, Irma. Turn it down. Turn it down. I'm really looking forward to the trip. I'm looking forward to it. Good. Good. Can I try on this shirt? Can I try on this shirt? Can I try it on? Yeah, all these ones are separable. Can I try it on? And finally, the last one. Don't throw away that box. Don't throw away that box. Don't throw away that box. Anybody got the answer to the last one, the last question? Don't throw it away, Emma. Very good. Yeah. Don't throw it away. So very good. With that, I've finished today's class. So phrasal verbs, very important. The important thing is to learn the vocabulary, look on the internet, look at this video that I gave you some of the most important ones here. I have on my channel other videos with phrasal verb lists, and you can just Google phrasal verbs and you will find many lists of phrasal verbs on the internet. If you're learning English, you need to learn phrasal verbs. Okay, that's all for today. Thanks to everybody in the chat. Thanks to Irma and Santiago, who are members of my channel. Santiago. The next class, next week will be the next live class on Tuesday. Probably the Tuesday will be beginners class, and Thursday will be continuing with this level B2 upper intermediate. Okay, thanks to everybody. Goodbye.